बसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी। बोलनी में बस भयो श्याम में तो बोलनी में बस भयो श्याम में तो मिट गई चंचल हो डोलनी मिट गई चंचल चित डोलनी मिट गई चंचल चित डोलनी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी। मीठी सम और नहीं आवत बोलनी मीठी सम और नहीं आवत विभुवन के सुख हो तलनी विभुवन के सुख हो तलनी विभुवन के सुख हो तोलनी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी। हंसनी बोलनी चलनी चितावनी हंसनी बोलनी चलनी चितावनी जन के परम निधि अमोलनी जन के परम निधि अमोलनी जन के परम निधि अमोलनी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी। प्रेमानंद निरखे मतवारो प्रेमानंद निरखे मतवारो दिल छब करन हो अपलनी दिल छब करन हो अपलनी दिल छब करन हो कापलनी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में बसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में बसी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी प्यारी लागे प्यारा तेरी हो बोलनी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी मेरे दिल में बसी मेरे मन में लसी। सजानंद स्वामी महाराज की जय।
मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहुनामी, मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहुनामी। सेवा सुमिरन कछुए न जानो, सेवा सुमिरन कछुए न जानो। सुनियो परम गुरु स्वामी, मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहुनामी, मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहुनामी। गजरु गीध तारी है गनिका, गजरु गीध तारी है गनिका। कुटिलय जामिल कामी, मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहुनामी, मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहुनामी। सुनियायो रे साख श्रवणे सुनियायो चरण शरण सुखधामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी प्रेमानंद कहे तारो के मारो प्रेमानंद कहे तारो के मारो समरथ अंतर जामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी सेवा सुमिरन कछुए न जानो सेवा सुमिरन कछुए न जानो सुनियो परम गुरु स्वामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी मैं तो तेरे बिरुद भरोसे बहु नामी। सहजानंद स्वामी महाराज की जय। Now we all together will sing Dhun with moving and clappings. Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan. Swami Narayan, 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 Swami Narayan. 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 सहजानंद स्वामी महाराज की जय।
Vaishak. Swami Sri Sahajanandaji Maharaj was seated on a thick mattress and bolsters spread on his own residential place in the darbar of Dada Khachar in Gadda. He had put on all white garments. Saints and devotees from various places had gathered before him in an assembly. Then Shriji Maharaj said, "It is said in the scriptures that when moh, that is infatuation, spreads in one's heart, he does not find any fault in his own self. This is the chief characteristics of a person who is overwhelmed by infatuation. Not to find faults in one's own self is other name of infatuation. Moreover, everyone is proud of his own wisdom and knowledge, but no one understands that he has no knowledge of his own self. He does not even know whether the soul in his body is white or black, long or short. He does not know anything about his soul, and yet he has the audacity to find faults in great men or even in God himself. He would say, 'See, this is a great man,' or God himself, and yet he does not do this much properly. This is how he speaks ill of God and his saints. But the fool does not know that God prevails in infinite number of universes. God can see the soul, Ishwar, and innumerable universes as if they are mere drop of water in his palm. It is he who sustains an infinite number of universes. He is the Lord of Lakshmi, the goddesses of wealth. He is the doer and undoer of an infinite number of universes. Even Shesh, who bears the universes on his head, Sharda, the goddesses of learning, and the Brahma, the god of creation, are not able to describe his greatness completely. Even the Ved cannot describe the greatness of God completely, as it is. And hence they say, Neti Neti, that is, not this, not this. It means this is nothing in this there is nothing in this world that can be compared with him. Further, there can be no end to the description of the greatness and the virtues of God. No scriptures, even the Ved, can describe him fully and completely. Hence, one who finds faults in episodes and in the wisdom of such a great God should be considered a fallen soul, a sinner. He must be considered as the greatest fool. The understanding of God and the devotees is extraordinary. How can a person who is attached to this body know it? Out of his foolishness, he is tempted to find faults in the God and his devotees, and consequently he turns into a fallen soul. But the true devotee of God always acts with superhuman insight. Iti Vachanamrut from Vachanamrut middle chapter number 53. Sahajananda Swami Maharajani Jai.
वर्णिवेशरमणीयदर्शनम् मन्दहासरुचिराननाम्बुजम् पूजितं सुरनरोत्तमेर्मुदा धर्मनन्दनमहं विचिन्तये। ॐ अवतारिणे श्री स्वामिनारायणाय नमो नमः। श्री हरिकृष्णाय नमो नमः। श्री पूर्णपुरुषोत्तमाय नमो नमः। सर्वावतारी इष्टदेव भगवान श्री स्वामिनारायण, पूज्यपाद शास्त्री जी महाराज, पूज्यपाद गुरु महाराज, पूज्यपाद Sadguru Sri Devaprasad Das Ji Swami Ji, all other pious and Brahmanist saints, and all dear Gurukul family members. Jai Swaminarayan. Today's Vachanamrut number 53 from Garuda middle chapter. Before we start discussion on today's Vachanamrutam, I would like to ask you that what is the topic of today's Vachanamrutam? Or what is the topic of today's Vachanamrutam? Ashish? I think you joined late. Yeah, Saurav, what is the topic of today's Vachanamrutam?
Jai Swaminarayan Swami.
Jai Swaminarayan.
To understand our self-assessment, Swami.
Okay, self-assessment. The topic of today's Vachanamrutam is to understand moh. In English it is called infatuation, but we will use term moh only. Moh means unreasoning attachment or very deep attachment. So, in today's Vachanamrutam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan said about moh. But I want to know from you that what Bhagavan Swaminarayan answer as a moh, or what do you understand as a moh? Balaji sir, what is called moh? Jai Swaminarayan.
Something more means that not believing others, great people or true saints or God. So that comes when we believe more in us, we don't believe in others.
Okay, Vivek.
Going away from the truth.
Yeah, Vivek, what do you say? What is moh? Because all scriptures are addressing to us to be free from moh. So what actually moh is? What do you understand? Yes, Vivek? Unmute yourself. No, down, yeah. Jai Swaminarayan.
Hello.
Yes.
Swamiji, what I understand about Moh is nothing but Maya. Maya means mine and yours. Anything that is related to me and yours is called Moh
Okay.
or Maya.
You are right that moh, yeah, moh is a creation of Maya, no doubt. Yeah. But exactly moh and Maya are different, right? Moh is being created or born out of Maya. Praveen sir want to say something? Yes sir, Praveen sir.
We can say like
Can you repeat?
Swamiji. So one research. उसके ऊपर पूरा we can say like the imagination which we are feeling is going to be permanent.
Okay, fine. So my dear Gurukul family members, moh means very deep attachment, unreasoning attachment to someone or to something is called moh. For example, if we have too much deep attachment or attraction for senses enjoyment. So that is our moh. If someone is deeply attached to his family members, maybe a wife, maybe a children or XYZ, then is also called a moh. But here in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan is saying bit different kind of moh, no doubt altogether. In Garuda middle chapter, first Vachanamritam also Bhagavan Swaminarayan said about moh. But that moh and this 53rd Vachanamritam of same Garuda middle chapter, there is a big difference. First of all, we try to understand what is the moh. So moh means very deep attachment or strong attachment, infatuation or delusion or ignorance also we can say. But this can be of any senseful objects. It can be for a person, maybe a son, maybe a wife, maybe other members. And it can be also for our own self. Suppose in this world, people those who are dying for the worldly objects and pleasures, so we can understand that, we can say that they are drawn in moh. But here in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan is saying that expectation or desire for our senseful objects are no doubt moh. Deep attachment for our family members also is moh, or for wealth, or for women, for family members. But in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan is saying that is already considered, that is also said moh. But this moh, in today's Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan said that if we are not able to identify, if we are not able to realize our own faults, mistakes or loopholes, then that is also one of the greatest moh. Sometimes as a devotee, we may not have attachment to the worldly objects. We will be also detached from our family members. For example, we have left family and we become Swamiji. So we already denied and we are out of our family moh. And we are also, saints are also trying to get rid of worldly objects moh. But even after that too, there is one more stage, or we can say one more type of moh, and that is not to identify, not to accept or not to realize our own faults, non-mistakes. And this can be even after taking Diksha also. So, in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan want to emphasize to all of us that what is moh? What is moh? Not to understand or not to identify our own faults, that is moh. And here we take few examples, we can understand more better. In scriptures, there are few characters or few roles. They are a symbol of moh, or they are representative of moh. For example, we had heard the name of Ravan. So in Ramayana, Ravan is title, or Ravan is said the symbol of moh. Similarly in Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra is a character of moh. So if we see this Ravan and Dhritarashtra, so throughout the whole life, if we see different incidents, we can understand how great and how deep moh they had. For example, Dhritarashtra, right? He was blind by birth. But he was not just blind physically, he was also blind mentally. So, though we all had eyes, but if we are blind with mind, or if we are blind with mentally, then, dear family members, we are also a character of Moh. Dhritarashtra, from very beginning of or birth of Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra had a putra Moh, right? Too much affection, deep love or infatuation for his son Duryodhan. Duryodhan also had a Moh, but before that, Dhritarashtra was a deep love and affection with attachment to the Duryodhan. So, from the early childhood of Duryodhan, he was involved, or he was in the path of all unethical activities, but never Dhritarashtra understood, or never he tried to correct him, because he had a deep attachment, unreasoning attachment to the Duryodhan. When Kauravas and Pandavas were very at young age, so Duryodhan understood that Bhim is more mighty than him, so they tried to kill him at the childhood only. So Duryodhan and Dushasan, they invited Bhim for the dinner or for the lunch, for the feast, right, party. Then they made a laddu with poison, and they are given to the Bhim, and he was very much grave for eating, so Bhim also ate as much he can, and then he went in unconscious, and they took him and thrown in the water. So this was come to known by Dhritarashtra later, but he did not stop Duryodhan that no, this is wrong, you should not do this. Not only this incident, if we see Mahabharata whole series, so as they grown up, Duryodhan was claiming himself that he should be next king and Yuvraj, though he was not even officially as well as even virtually eligible, but still he was claiming himself and he was trying for that. And Dhritarashtra, because of his Moh, he was pampering him and encouraging him for the same. And because of that, day by day and step by step, Duryodhan along with Mama Shakuni and Karna, they have harassed Pandavas throughout the whole life. They invited for gambling, jua, and then they cheated them. They sent them to the forest. Then Draupadi Chirharan, they even sent them that Khandavan and given the wasteland for their own development. Duryodhana also tried to kill Pandavas in Lakshagru. In Mahabharata war also they tried whatsoever way, and if we see the incident of Abhimanyu Vadh, so like by giving up and leaving all norms of or rules of battlefield of Mahabharata, they have killed Abhimanyu. So each and every step or each and every incident of the whole life of Kauravas and Pandavas, if we see, so Duryodhan was wrong. If somebody asks to us, any one of us, that Duryodhan was right or wrong, what do we say? Without any second thought we say, yes, he was wrong. But Dhritarashtra was not able to understand or believe that Duryodhana is wrong, because that was his Moh, infatuation. When we are drawn into our own Moh, we cannot understand that what is right and what is wrong. What is right and what is wrong. Same thing was happened with even Arjun in the beginning of Mahabharat war. By seeing Guru Dron, Bhishma Pitama and all brothers, he was also misunderstood himself, and he was also saying to Bhagavan Krishna that no, I will not fight, this is wrong, I should not kill my own family members. But that was his moh, and that's why Bhagavan Krishna given him Gita Updesh, and at last Arjun accepted. Nashto moha smrutir labdha. Nashto moha smrutir labdha means my moh is now removed or washed out. So Dhritarashtra was not just blind with eyes, he was also mentally blind. And if we are also following the same way of the Dhritarashtra for our children, our family members, then we should also understand that that is because of moh. There is one more example of Ravan, right? In Ramayana, Ravan is representative of moh. Ravan had everything. Ravan had golden Lanka, Ravan had great power, he had great name, fame, he was great knowledge, everything he had, and still he kidnapped Sita ji, right? Okay, that was nothing but because of out of his moh. So when he was so much attracted towards Sita ji and he kidnapped Sita ji, then in Sri Lanka, his wife Mandodari advised him or tried to explain him that this is not right, you are not supposed to do this. But he was not ready to listen. Even Vibhishan tried to explain and make him to understand that this is wrong. Even his father-in-law, Mandodari's father, also tried him to explain that kidnapping somebody's wife is not right, it's wrong. But Ravan was not able to accept his mistake, and he ignored them, he refused them, and he sent off whoever went him to advise or suggest or guide. Because he was completely, deeply he was drawn into the moh. In this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan is saying that moh means when we are not able to understand or we are not able to identify or accept or believe, or even we can say realize our own mistakes, so that is a greatest kind of moh. And see, my dear Gurukul family members, if we see our day-to-day life, we are also the same kind of member. If somebody says or identifies our mistakes or criticize our criticize us, are we accepting this? No, we are not able to. Not even suppose a father or elderly people is also showing our mistakes, so we are not accepting that. Okay, with respect, we may not reject, we may not fight or argue with them, it's fine, it's a good quality. But how far we are accepting from our bottom of our heart that no, yes Father, whatever you are saying, that is true, or whatever Guru is saying, that is true, or whatever Swamiji is saying, that is true. We are not accepting. I know that some of you might say that Swamiji, that is generation gap, right? That would be because of generation gap. No doubt, I do agree that there is a generation gap, but generation gap can be between father and son to understand the latest information or technology or invention. But there cannot be a generation gap in the principles. Because whatever principles were there before 100 years, same principle will work today and even after 100 years. So, principally, our elderly people may be right and would be right. But on the name of or excuse of generation gap, we even deny and refuse their principle and value based suggestions. And we don't accept our own mistakes. So, if someone is not able to believe, accept, or realize his own mistakes, so that is the greatest moh. That is the greatest moh. Ravan was so learned. See, here knowledge and moh both are different. Generally, if somebody is having knowledge, so he can understand his mistakes. But moh is such a element, or we can say animal, right? That though we have knowledge of all scriptures, but even that person will not be able to understand or identify his own moh. See, my all dear Gurukul family members, those who are here present, right, in this today's satsang, we are able to see everyone else mistakes, weakness, loopholes, faults, but except us, right? Except us, we are able to identify and see and analyze everyone else's mistakes. Suppose there is many of our brothers are studying here, right? Ex-students. Yeah. So in your classroom, if there are 40 or 50 members are studying, so you will be able to identify, yes, this boy is that good, this boy is not that good, or we will able to analyze, identify everyone else surrounding us, their mistakes, their weakness, their plus, their minus. But if we ask ourselves, or if we close eyes for 2 minutes and ask ourselves that where am I wrong, so we are not able to understand. We are not able to come to the conclusion, or we are not able to identify that where exactly I am making mistake, or what is my fault. When somebody is trying to show us, even we are not accepting. And that is what Bhagavan Swaminarayan said in this Vachanamritam, that is the greatest moh. And this is with every one of us. None of us is excluded from this. We all are part of this. Having attachment, deep attachment to the worldly objects, or for pleasure of eyes, ears, and other senses, that may be different. But this moh is completely, and that's why, dear family members, none of us is ready to accept that I am not an intelligent. People are ready to accept that, yes, I am less rich than X, Y, or Z. People are also accepting that, yes, I am less virtuous than others. But if it is asked to all of us, who is the most clever sitting here, then every one of us will claim that, yes, I am the most intelligent. We will not accept that I have low or less intelligence. We all are, Swamiji says in Hindi and Gujarati, right, that apne apne taan mein gadda bhi mastan, right? Apne apne taan mein gadda bhi mastan. If you go and ask to donkey in it, that are you intelligent? What you will say? Yes, I am far intelligent than you. So, none of us is accepting that I am less intelligent. Because every one of us, we believe that I am the superior and I am the supreme than all other surrounding me. So, that is the greatest moh in this Vachanamritam Bhagavan Swaminarayan said. My dear family members, see these two examples of Dhritarashtra and Ravan. Dhritarashtra and Ravan. It is clearly indicates, and any one of us sitting here, we can say that yes, he was completely wrong. Dhritarashtra was completely wrong and Ravan was completely wrong. Are you agree? Yes, there is no doubt. Yes. But if, so that was a negative field or negative direction more, so it was very clearly understood and visually also understood that yes, it was wrong. But now we will take one more example which is very hard to understand as well as believe that even this kind of moh can be existed. And that example is of Yudhishthir Maharaja. So Yudhishthir Maharaja was himself incarnation of Dharmaraja. Right? He was incarnation of Dharmaraj. Time of Mahabharat war, Bhagavan Krishna said him to announce that Ashwathama Hataha. Ashwathama Hataha. Actually, Bhim had killed Ashwathama named an elephant. But Bhagavan Krishna said him to announce front of Guru Dron that Ashwathama Hataha. Because even his son's name also was Ashwathama, and there was an elephant in Mahabharat war. It has also named Ashwathama. So Bhagavan Krishna said to Bhim to kill Ashwathama elephant, and he killed. Then Bhagavan Krishna said to Yudhishthir Maharaja to announce that Ashwathama Hataha. So Yudhishthir Maharaja did not agree to announce that, because that was wrong. Ashwathama named elephant was killed, not Guru Dron's son. And so he was not ready to announce. When Bhagavan Krishna forced him to announce, so with due respect of Bhagavan Krishna, Yudhishthir Maharaja announced that Ashwathama Hataha. But when he also add the clause Naro va Kunjarova, means either an elephant or human. Ashwathama named somebody is killed, but it may be elephant or it may be a person. So he tried himself to protect and not to speak 100% lie. So he made 50-50, right? He made 50-50. So now my question to all of you is, Yudhishthir Maharaja said Narova Kunjarova, that was truth or untruth? Saurabh Bhaiya.
Hiding truth,
Sorry?
manipulating the truth.
No. What Bhagavan Krishna said to Yudhishthir Maharaja, that you please announce Ashwathama Hataha. And Yudhishthir Maharaja was knowing that this is wrong. Yes, Guru Dron's son is not killed. So he was not ready to announce. So, protect himself or save himself, he also had one clause that Narova Kunjarova. So what did he announce? That was true or wrong? Truth or untruth?
Truth, Swami.
Yes, obviously it was truth. Anybody else? Satish sir.
Yes or no, Swami?
Yes,
Truth
sir.
only, Swami.
Truth only. So if Yudhishthir Maharaja, whatever he said, if that was the truth, that means whatever Bhagavan Krishna was saying, that was untruth. Saurabh, are you agree for Bhagavan Krishna's untruth? No? Okay. So what to do now? Either or we have to judge truth and yes. So though it looks and seems that Yudhishthir Maharaja was in the path of truth, and Bhagavan Krishna, what was he was saying, that is seems outwardly that untruth, but the definition of God and scriptures, what Bhagavan Krishna was saying, that was the truth, and what Yudhishthir Maharaja was thinking, that was untruth. Why? Because Pujya Devaprasad Swamiji explains very deeply. Swamiji says that whatever Yudhishthir Maharaja following truth, or what was he announced, or what he was not ready to announce, because he was a Dharmaraj. But his truth or truth of Yudhishthir was supporting always to the adharma. And even untruth of Krishna Bhagavan was supporting to the dharma. So the form of truth and untruth was in opposite direction. But the result of truth and untruth was something different. What Yudhishthir Maharaja was saying truth, the form was of truth, but outcome of that form was untruth. And what Bhagavan Krishna was saying, that was looking like untruth, outward form, but it was resulting as a truth. And so, my dear Gurukul family members, what I want to say is that Yudhishthir Maharaja did not understand or identify or realize that yes, he was mistaken, not God. God never can be mistaken. Please write in golden words, right? God can be never mistaken. In whatsoever Jagrat, Swapna or Sushupti, whatever state of mind, whatever time, or either Kali Yuga, Satyuga or Dwapar or Treta, whatever God does and gives statement cannot be untruth. That would be always in favor of dharma, always in favor of truth, and that is only the ultimate and true truth. And as a human being, whatever we are believing, so we can be, and obviously we can be mistaken, maybe Yudhishthir Maharaja or any one of us. So Yudhishthir Maharaja did not understand his own fault, we can say. So not identifying our own fault or weakness, or accepting or realizing, that is nothing but kind of moh. So in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan is saying that attachment and desire for worldly objects, for wealth, means for money, for women, for family members, it is moh, no doubt. But there is another moh, and that is that not to realize, not to accept our own mistakes, non loopholes and weakness. So in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan said, see, and my dear Gurukul family members, right, we have talked just regarding Dhritarashtra. But if you look yourself, how far you are attached to your children. Today most of parents, they ignore the weakness and mistakes of their children. And over the period, Duryodhana was bad, right, in the beginning. Duryodhana was bad in the beginning, but because of Dhritarashtra moh, he was turned into the worst. He was turned into the worst. So similarly, dear Gurukul family members, today at your home you have children, you have family members. So if you be blind for them, their mistakes, then tomorrow time is very danger. It will turn into the disaster. So don't be ignorant, don't avoid the mistakes and weakness of your children. That doesn't mean that if they make mistake, you take a stick and punish them, right? Yeah, that is not the sense. What I mean to say is, as we are looking to the other's children with the same eyes and same focus, we have to look to our own children. Many of our teachers are here, right? In the classroom, if X student did not do homework or classwork, or is not behaving good in the classroom, So you'll be very strict to them. But when you go to the next class and your own son is studying in the class and he is also mischievous and not doing homework and classwork, so how far do you judge him? Yes, we always make favor of him. And we try to protect, try to ignore their weakness and mistakes, and indirectly we are encouraging them to become bad or good to bad and bad to worse. So dear family members, it is not just example of Dhritarashtra. Even today, most of the parents, either you are ex-students or our staff members or parents, for if we are ignoring the mistakes of our own family members and children, that means we are encouraging them to do again the same. And day by day, one day, see, children are testing us. Try to understand. Children are testing us. When first time your son is making mistake, what do? You forgive him, right? Then what that child will do? Son will do? Next time will do next level of mistake. Even we think, okay, he is very young, we forgive him. Then again he will test you, he will increase the intensity of mistakes and he will go to the third level. And likewise, because of our deep attachment to the family members and children, we also ignore, and day by day, over the 5, 10 or 15 years of the time, that child will go very far, and then it will be difficult for him as well as for you to get him back. So, my dear family members, today in this Vachanamritam, Bhagavan Swaminarayan is saying that if we are not able to realize or accept our own mistakes, so that is the greatest type of moh, we pray to the pious feet of Bhagavan Swaminarayan to bless all of us to be or to get rid of this kind of moh, and we believe ourselves the great sevak and great devotee of Bhagavan Swaminarayan and sevak of Gurukul and Shastriji Maharaj. Sahajananda Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Swaminarayan Swamiji. Thank you very much for making us understand what is called moh. And based on today's topic, there are 2-3 questions. The question from Suresh sir. Hiranyakashipu had killed his own son Bhakta Prahlad, tried to kill. So is it called moh or not?
Killing someone, Hiranyakashipu tried to kill his son. So he had no moh for his own son, right? What do you mean to ask, sir? He had not a moh for his son, he had moh for himself. So Prahlad was an obstacle, and that's why he was trying to kill him. So he had a moh, but not for son like Dhritarashtra, but for his own self.
Question from our alumni Vivek. Jai Swaminarayan Swamiji. To understand that it's right or wrong, we should have wisdom, and for wisdom we should have willpower. So how we should develop willpower?
So willpower and wisdom, can you repeat the question?
To understand if anything is right or wrong, we should have wisdom. Wisdom is nothing but Vivek. Yes. So, and for wisdom we should have willpower, he is saying.
For wisdom we should have scriptures, knowledge, reading and satsang. This kind of satsang can develop our wisdom, and reading our own self scriptures also will add our knowledge and wisdom. So then we can take what is right and what is wrong, the decision. Specifically in this type of subject of moh, not your medicine field, but in this field with satsang and reading of scriptures, we can understand and we can develop our wisdom.
Next question from Ashish Tiwari, sir. My question is that
Ashish Tiwari is an alumni.
Okay, Ashish Tiwari. My question is that if we are already attached to a person and we realize that it's only more that is driving the relationship with that person, in such case, how ethically it is correct to leave that person?
Yeah, once can you repeat?
If we come to know that we have already attached to some person and the relationship is only more, so in this scenario, how ethically correct it is to leave that person?
See, Ashish, only relationship is not a more, right? Only relationship is not a more. But when we cross the limits and blind relationship or relationship with out of our attraction, out of our attachment or out of our desire, so that is called moh. Suppose Dhritarashtra had moh to the Duryodhan, that doesn't mean that every father would have moh for his son, right? No doubt, if you don't be aware and careful, so relationship may turn into the moh. So we must be careful, no doubt. If you are not careful and awaken, so relationship may turn into the moh. There is a chances, but every relationship is not a moh. So ethically there is no chance. The purpose of human life is to reach to the Akshardham, and if somebody is obstacle in that, so whoever is that, we should be get rid of that moh, not person. Please remember, it is not that you should run away from home and come to the Gurukul, right? Yeah. But being in home only, we should not have attachment to the other members or anyone else. Yeah.
A question from Solapur, Parth sir. If we have moh for God, so is it good or what it is called?
Yeah, it is good, 110%, but it is not called moh, it is called devotion. It is called devotion. Deep attachment to the God is called devotion, and that is called nishtha. But deep attachment to the worldly objects, person or situation or thing, that is called moh. So no doubt, this is good.
That's it, Swamiji. Now we're moving further. We'll go for today's polling. Let's check and assist ourselves how far we have understood today's satsang by two small questions. The first question is on your screen. The question is, what is called moh? And the options: attachment with family is called moh, or attraction towards wealth is moh, or unreasoning attachment with someone or something is moh, or blind attachment is called moh. What is called moh? Yes, we can see very interesting results. Let's end the poll. Share the results. Yes, here is the results. 59% of the devotees have answered unreasoning attachment with someone is or something is called moh, and 34% of the devotees have answered blind attachment towards someone is called moh. So both the third and fourth options are correct. Congratulations to all the devotees who have answered very correctly. Now moving forward to the next question. The next question. Yes, here is the next question on your screen. Why we don't understand what is right and wrong? I repeat, why we don't understand what is right and wrong? Is it because of faith, or because of low intellect, or because of confusion, or is it because of moha? Why we don't understand what is right and wrong? The options are very clear. Yes, let's end the poll. Here we can see 85% of the devotees have answered. Because of moh, we don't understand what is right and wrong. Yes, it is exactly correct. It is moh, as Swamiji has explained today's Vachanamrutam. It is moh by which we are unable to distinguish between what is right and wrong. Yes, thank you Swamiji for today's satsang, and we all devotees shall convey Jai Swaminarayan to Swamiji, and then we can leave.
Jai Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan Parth, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan Parth, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan Pratham, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Swaminarayan.